Hello, hello. Hey, continuing this game, Wolf of Derevnya. Okay, continue. So last time, where we left off was the end of chapter 1, where Broda was killed. Okay, you stand by there, pinned by the villager's eyes. The torn body lies at your feet. Your never warm welcome has turned to ice. You fumble for something to say. Yeah, they're looking at me. These wounds weren't made by a sword. Look at him. He's been torn apart by teeth, claw perhaps. How could a man make wounds like that? And why would I, when I have a perfectly good weapon? Lord Godemir frowns, but considers your words. Alright, you have a point. Someone killed Broda though. Someone or something. Why would anyone kill Broda? Asks Onfim. Onfim is the kid. Corral 2 dozen fresh folk. You'll grab a score of buzzards, happy to hear the corpse lose its breath, says Zvezdana. Zvezdana is, the weird girl. Mila cuffs her lightly on the arm. Zvezdana, what a thing to say. That was no man. It was an unclean force, says Branislav. Not this again, says Father Cyril. Honestly, Branislav, how can you believe in those pagan superstitions? There's no such thing. Branislav sets his jaw. I know what I saw. And we're meant to trust what you saw? Says Father Cyril with a laugh. How many copies of me do you see right now? 2 or 3? A man is dead, says Lord Godemir, raising his voice. Brutally dead. We need to know what happened. I'll find out. We're unsure whether it's concern for the villagers or merely desire to clear a name that makes you speak. By rights, you should have nothing to do with this. But Onfim is looking up at you, his homely face so guileless and open. To him, you're the Bogadir of legend, come to save them. You examine the body. You examine Broda's corpse. Hands and feet are cold, but warmth still clings at his core. Face and a permanent scream. Ooh. His eyes rolled back, big strips are torn out of his neck and belly. Jeez. You've only once seen something like this. The poisonous vapors rising from the lake, the body strewn about, rent this way and that like shoes worried by a dog, and that figure looming out of the mist, taller and taller. You feel your muscles beginning to lock up, your veins going cold as they did on that day. No, you suppress the memory. It can't happen again. A beast did this. A wolf. A bear perhaps. I've seen beasts attack. I got it from a trap. Okay, search for the woods. Push through the trees, your sword bursts your leg as if to reassure you. It's dark as a grave out there, save for a few patches where the lantern light slices through the branches. Beasts rustle in the underbrush and the branches above you. An owl silently startles. Do you hear anything larger? Anything out of place? You're not sure. Press on. You lean heavily on your staff. You're lacerated. Oh, right. I can't. Let's go back. How can you be so calm right now? Wearing a hole in the floor won't help Broda in any way. She's so sensible. Yeah, sit down. You sink onto one of the benches, but you can't stop yourself from fidgeting. It's still out there, you say. What if it's in the village right now? If it's still out there, there's nothing to be done until dawn. Now let me have a look at that leg. Okay, let her examine it. She undoes the bandage with deft finger. The wound is swollen and angry. The stitches pulling loose from flesh. Blood such. Oh no. A bit. Okay, sure. Bear it like a man. No, let's say ow. Honestly, you didn't complain half so much when I set you up. Let's ask what is in that poultice. Nettle. It'll stop the bleeding. Okay. Bustles about, cutting a bit of this herb. Pours hot water over the herbs and pushes the cup into your hands. The rising steam bears a damp, woody, slightly peppery smell. You wrinkle your nose. Drink. You take an experimental sip. The taste is bitter, mildewy, like the moldering leaves on the forest floor. Your stomach revolts. What did you put in that witch's brew? Birch leaf, corn flour, and an herb and butter called whey bread. Ward off any fever and keep the wound from festering. You know much about the secret of the herbs. Who taught you? My mother taught me, but I've also learned from the Father Cyril's leech books. Okay, drink the rest. It's not sweetmeats and honey. Sometimes the most wholesome things are the bitterest. I know. Wait, haven't you ever married? This almost makes up for the tension. Yeah. Why haven't you ever married? That's something I just can't understand. You can cook and stitch a wound and identify plants and run in. Why aren't men lining up to marry you? You've been around Derevnya. You've seen the options. Who would you suggest? Branislav? I suppose not. But there must have been someone at some point who caught your eye. She waves away your words. So why would you need a husband? I'm doing perfectly fine running this place on my own. You are that. You agree. You turn in for the night, reluctantly acknowledging your fatigue. Your dreams are fitful, stalked by beasts and specters whose form you cannot quite make out. Dawn comes, wan and feeble through the cracks in the inn's shutter. Calm is gone. Off stalking rats or rabbits. Mila is spinning up her braid into a knot. Are you joining us for the divine liturgy? She asks. Father Cyril would be glad to see you there. Okay, I would be glad to come. A soft smile flits across your mouth. We'd best go or we'll be late. The villagers are streaming through the great wooden doors of the church. They are no great number, perhaps 24 smirds in well-worn kaftans or faded headscarves. Yet, you feel lost in the throng. Every shoulder that jostles you and sleeve that brushes past against you, making you flinch. You stick close to Mila. Inside, incense rises from the censers like the breath of a firebird. By candlelight, the saints' faces flicker, seeming now mournful, now wrathful. The church is crowded, yet Onfim stands alone in the little bubble of empty space, as though no one wants to get too close to him. Why? Father Cyril comes out from behind the iconostasis in his gilded vestments. His face brightens when he spies you among the villagers. It has been many years since you've celebrated the liturgy. You aren't sure if you remember the words. Stay silent. The voices rise and fall in their sing-song chant. Now the priest alone, now the people in unison. You stay silent. You are an imposter here. The words strike you as though you've never heard them before. Help us. Save us. Have mercy on us and protect us. O God, by your grace. So many cries of mercy, but are they for the villagers or for you? The time comes for Holy Communion. Father Cyril divides the bread and brings forth the chalice, gilt and engraved with symbols of the faith. O Maker, burn me not as I partake, for you are fire, consuming the unworthy. Praise Father Cyril. The others line up to receive the host. You hesitate. Let's take the communion. You wait your turn, quietly, furtively. Father Cyril places a spoonful of wine-soaked bread into your mouth and speaks the words over you. The servant of God, Sasha, partakes the body and blood for Christ for the remission of sins and life eternal. You'd almost forgotten the sweet, bitter taste of wine. Convicted, you feel cleansed. I say I feel nothing. You feel nothing. Just as when you prayed, there's no presence, no voice, only emptiness. The bread is nothing but bread. The liturgy comes to an end. The villagers pour out of the church into the center of town, chattering to each other, their minds already on the day's work. A light rain begins to plash on the ground. You can hear voices and the clang of a shovel from behind the church. Do you to know anything about Brodestad? I'm afraid not. What about you, Onfim? I was climbing a tree looking for bird's nests. Do you see anything? I saw someone in the bushes, asleep or something. There wasn't anyone there. Head to the back of church. Branislav and Gorimir. I don't see the sense of it. Rain's gonna wash it half away before Brod is ready for it. Should have waited until after the laying out. Just dig. Yeah. Why dig now? You're our guest. That doesn't mean you're in the... No. Because then there might have been something surrounded. Those Polovtsis packing. He might have stopped. The flash patient is a beast of life size. He lunges toward Branislav, wrests the shovel from his hand, strikes him across the temple. I've had enough of you. Jeez. Examine the grave. Hmm. Head to the village entrance. Head to the pond. Search the area. I don't really want to walk around too much. Head for the meadow. Zvezdana. Heavy wool on the sky. Sheep. The gems are eager for the earth. Hurry up. Zvezdana doesn't melt in a little water. I don't mean rain. Your husband is dead. Gone to join the earth folk. Brother has, and now the bird can dart across the sky. You're telling me you're happy he's dead? Sweet? Bitter? Who knows what the taste is in Zvezdana's mouth? How you feel matters. A whole child life in a veil, no one hears the liver talk. But now, flesh folk. Heard the hurt suit in the wind, smelled the fear bite of the wolf folk. Went to taste for myself, then feel of snare caught flesh, and I was darting across the sky. So, she heard something. Saw whatever monster bit the sheep. I don't know what went to taste for myself. Snare caught flesh. Somebody got caught in a trap. The stoat grows fat on eggs and baby birds. I have no clue. Grasps the feather, lose the bird. Oh no. Oods of pine sap. Body heat. No, they felt it. The wolf folk bite the fear metal, alright. But not for that. It's different taste in the air. He's saying this already. What the fuck is she saying? Hi Mila. That calm. Something about Broda's death. Who might have wanted to kill Broda? He was not well loved, but to kill him, our village is not accustomed to such acts of violence. Must have been a beast, some sort of act of God. You don't seem too broken up. It's a tragedy, but if you knew him as I did, an end like this would be no great surprise. I hardly spoke to him. You say, what sort of person was he? Sullen and vainglorious, did not have the makings of a great man, and he resented it. Blamed his sole lot on being born a smurd. I was born into no better station, you say. Don't take this wrong way, but I would hardly hold you up as part of greatness, risen from lowliness. It's all about the murder. Do you know who might have taken your knife? Half the village is in here every evening. Anyone could have picked it up. Wouldn't shock me if Branislav took it by mistake for his own. The owner was in the woods. I want to know why. There are thousands and one perfectly innocent reasons to be in the woods. Branislav laid traps. I forage herbs. One of him lives there. When you collide with Branislav, I've been looking for you. I've brought you the belt. I think we got off on the wrong foot. You just said the same moment, Brisel. You tap your bandaged leg with your cane. Just got me all fixed up and I'm going to be fine. Huh. She does that. Truth be told, I was just on my way to get heads into the inn. He ran to the center. The rain has picked up. Can't go in the church with my sword. Oh, there's a tent. Oh, what are you doing here? Who are you? And suspicion immediately lands me, of course. No. How do they treat you? Don't if they can help it. You don't have to give the beast's bay, but a hint of something like pride factor. I knew a girl like you once. No, Russian. They allowed the woman to do such things. For her they did. Recall how quickly she would rip from her shoulder, noticing the arrow. The words of fatality were as clumsy as an ox next to her. Farewell. Perhaps I'll see you around. Unlikely. Such a warm welcome I'd get. Oh, it's Kikibor. What does she want? Examine the chickens. He scrutinized chickens carefully, and after a moment reached... Chickens are weird little dudes. Okay. Faint path winds its way through the rubble, but it's too bare to show footprints. The bones are old. They've lain here for years. Long enough for weeds to grow them, and wolves to crack them open for their marrow. On another grassy mound stands a little wooden grave. It's half rotten and sun-bleached, yet not abandoned, for someone has strewn red and yellow chrysanthemums around it. You can't make out unless in the marker. You take a step closer and deal, but as you do, a shot forms and stop where you are without any sound. You stand starts with her bow drawn. Okay, whose grave is this? My brother's. Okay. Put the bow down. Oh, Miss Innocent. No, not during the battle. She says no more and you don't ask. He bursts from and taking the arrow from the string. You can see a limp to her gait, the way she takes long steps from one point to the other. We know. Even when they fought, the battle was like an earthquake, a tornado. An act of the gods, but us, we know that war is a way of life. Still, there are some that cut deeper than others, some that throw your entire world into disarray. I need to find Orphan. I can't let him be just another cairn behind the church. I'd aid you if I had any to give, and he hasn't been this way truly. Okay. He's down in the village. Oh shit! You delve into the woods. The rain is coming down more heavily now, going from a sprinkle to a downpour of heavy drops that splatter when they strike you like rotten fruit. You listen again for the crying voice. You can just make it out straight ahead. No, to your right. Then the sound is lost in the downpour. The stream is swollen, gushes of water pouring over stones, fallen branches, and something else. Something pale protruding the water. Reluctantly, you pick your way across a log to the far side of the stream. There is Father Cyril, stretched out on the ground, his eyes and mouth open, one sleeve of his cassock trailing in the stream. One wide, ragged bone delves through his chest. Ooh. Ooh. Pravda Rusiskaya. Jeez, another one is dead. What is happening? You kneel by the old man and feel his, sensing the fertility even as you do. Reach in. Wine-soaked bread of the host. Don't look. He promised to read me another story. It was him. He's the unclean force. Look, you dumbass. I just got here. Talk to them. I would never hurt Father Cyril. He was a sweet old man. Oh no, they're beating me up. No, they're beating me up. Mila grabs the sleeves of Branisla's skirt. You can't. He didn't do anything. Mila, it's... You want to say it's going to be okay, but the falsehood dies on your tongue. Instead, you say, stay out of this. Don't get yourself dragged in as well. We showed this stranger, but what do you do? He's a killer. Teeth broken in a jagged rock. Mila stands helplessly. Oh no, on film. The Pravda Rusiskaya, he says. The people of Rus are not savages. We have laws. If this man has done wrong, I will judge him, but this is not who we are. If Sash has taken a life, he will pay the proper penalty. If you want blood, go to Byzantium. You'll decide that. Now, what do you have to say? I believe the killer is someone in the village. We in search of all known nature, which are near the village. Beekeeper. That wild ass should have. Okay, the killer is no ordinary man. The piece of the host. Whatever remains of the consecrated bread. Okay, out of time to consume it. I think it was placed into his mouth, either by force or after his death. Torment. I found a knife. Okay. Mauling dangerous. You should Lord Godemir the skull. Anything the way it killed, leaving the elk uneaten, dropping the skull into the pond as though hiding its kill. Father Cyril's body was far from the village. So anyone he was dead besides one judge. I don't have any more evidence. There are tales of monsters. An unclean force. Mila unconsciously clutches Onfim close to her. She says, but here in the village we've all known each other since childhood. If someone had such a curse upon them, we would have known. Some Volkolaki are born, others are made. I've heard the legends that if you drink rainwater from the footprint of a wolf by moonlight, the curse will enter. It'll kill us all. Not if I find out what it wants. Father Cyril, he was no random. If I find the pattern, I can stop it. But who are we to know that you yourself are not Volkolak? The forces. How do we know? Why would I tell you if I were the Volkolak? To earn trust. Throw us off trail. I need my sword. What if it attacks me? I'll take charge of Sasha, says Mila. Spent time with this buggeteer and I know he will not harm me. And may I assume none of you consider me to be the unclean force? Let it be so. You will remain in Mila's charge until the Volklak is slain. And the rest of you, what are you standing for? Is this a circus show? The villagers disperse. Branislav loiters, taking one last slow pull on the jog while looking at you at the corner of his eye. Lord Godemir gives him a hard look and he finally ambles away. As Mila puts her hand on the door latch, Lord Godemir seizes you by the shoulder. If something does happen to Mila, I shall know who was responsible, knowing that there's nowhere you can flee where I cannot hunt you down. Yeah, sure. I think we could use a grenade. That sounds perfect. She pours 2 cups of medovuka and passes you one. Only a few sips and do you realize that your hands were shaking. Every inch of you is soaked, your fingers and toes numbed and purple. You sit in front of the fire and rub them until sensation returns and pins and needles. Mila slices some bread and cheese and you eat them without enthusiasm. Images of the mob, their faces, their voices, Father Cyril's stricken body keep flashing through your mind. Lord Godemir showed up at just the right moment. He must have seen the crowd. The Pravda Ruriskaya. He's been the boyar of this village these 40 years. No doubt he's seen everything. He must have picked that up while I was tramping up around in the trees. It's not only one either. You look a good deal more yourself now that you're in proper clothes, but you should do something with that hair and beard. Calling them a bird's nest would be an insult to all the work birds put in. I'd like that. But Mila didn't even wait to hear what you said. She's already raking her hands through your thick matted locks. Mila settles you on the ground in front of the stove and pulls up a stool behind you. It's in a rather bad state. I could try to comb it out, but it'll take hours and you'll have to put up with the long pulling. The easiest thing would cut it. Just cut it off. She looks a bit disappointed, but she fetches a pair of shears and snips away the mats a bit of a time. Strands of chestnut. You feel strange without the weight of your hair, too light, as though you've forgotten something. Vitalia would be sad to see my hair gone. She used to comb it for me, then I'd do hers. It was a little ritual we had. You still haven't told me what happened to her. I almost forgot. Lurks behind your thoughts. You're right. She said, quietly, while you turn it forwards. She was taken captive. She wished only to die sword in hand, but instead chained and humiliated. I know not where she is now, whether she's living or dead. Mila finishes her hair and begins cutting your beard close to your face. When was this? 12 years ago. And you've had to live with this all this time? So many times I thought I couldn't. It never ceased to amaze me how far past the breaking point you can endure when there's no other choice. Your hair is now shorn to ear length, your beard to little more than a layer of stubble on your cheeks. I don't know when there got to be so much gray in it. Reminds me of a roan horse. It's late. You climb onto the stove and try to sleep, but you cannot stop feeling your sword's absence from its spot by the door, like an amputee sensing a lost limb. In your dreams, dark things with twisted faces of Branislav and Onfim and Zvezdana crawl over the threshold and coil themselves around you. Dawn arrives like an unwanted guest, its white fingers sliding through the gaps in the shutters and creeping across the tables and up the far wall. Calm is curled up on a windowsill. Mila is washing the dirt from her face in a basin when she hears you stir. She looks up, a drop of water falling from her chin. Come on, get up. There's something going on outside, and I promise not to let you out of my sight. Okay, what is it? What if Mila is a witch and Calm the cat is actually like the werewolf? The same thought stretches silently between you. Another killing. The face of the villagers flash through your mind. Try not to picture what each would like to turn. Pet Calm. Take the knife. Mila, do you mind if I take this? You're going to take out the Volkolak with a cooking knife? I'm sure it'd be no use at all, but she's all yours. You and Mila head out into a wan, washed out morning like a sheet of parchment scrubbed too many times. None of the townspeople are about in the square. Shouting and agitated voices rise from two different directions. You can hear a woman's voice from the village entrance to the east, and from the west, coming from the direction of the manor, a hubbub of voices, a man's voice loudest among them. Let's go to the village entrance. Sounds like Bezdana. Two of you run over, lying draped over a stricken sheep, her face buried in swell. As you think she's dead, then she raises her head. While Rockfall gets shorn, iron strikes the wolf folk. The tasted a slice of mouth iron, but I was tar-legged, heart heat still, and her but fleeing the plant craft, the feet like a swift St. John's wort, quick. I have to look at those injuries. Fair enough. This was it. Alright, the Volkolak. Svezana fidgets. Mud, thick limbs. I tested the bittersuit, but Mrs. Steel sap. It was because you were slow. Strange how in these few days, Zvezdana's speech has become as easy to understand as plain words. You say the Volkolak was probably waiting for a moment to strike. If it hadn't been now, it would have been another time. Miller returns with a bundle of dried yellow flowers in her arms. These should be enough to staunch the blood. I just hope we got here soon enough. She rolls up her sleeves and set about the herb's work, while Zvezdana paces in a wandering figure eight about the meadow. The other sheep milling at her heels in confusion. I should console her. You catch up with Zvezdana, but when you place a hand on her arm, shakes you off. Her words devolving into stray monosyllables of suit and bite, while Mela comes up to you and pulls off her kerchief to wipe her blood-stained hands. I think she'll pull through. She lost a lot of blood, but her wool protected her vital parts. I just wish. She leaves the rest and said, Broda and Farzula, how a few minutes might have saved them too. Voices ring out from the direction of the village, and Lord Godimir comes galloping upon his black mare, a group of villagers in his wake. His eyes settle on the bloody ewe. So the Volkolak was about. It must have struck in the hours before dawn. Yes, you say, it's growing bolder. Then we must make haste. We may already be too late. What's going on? That's Onfim. He's missing. Oh no. Not Onfim.